This time on Art of Nintendo Power, what a horrible night to have a curse. Welcome back, Power Players. I know it's been a little while and I do apologize for that. So as a way of saying I'm sorry, here's something kind of special. Since beginning this journey, one of the biggest thorns in my side has been the head of Dracula from issue 2 of Nintendo Power. Okay, thorn in my side is not very fair, but it is definitely the one thing that anytime I show anyone anything, they immediately come back with,
"Well, do you have Dracula's head?"
Of course, my response has always been no, but I'm always looking. However, today, that would not be my response. Today, my answer would be yes. Kind of. Let me back up a second. This isn't exactly what you think it is. This is not the actual prop used for the Dracula head on Nintendo Power Volume 2, Simon's Quest. It is, however, the exact same mask that they used for the prop for Dracula's head. This is the 2525 Drac mask from Be Something Studios. Originally debuted in, I believe, 1977. See, the thing is, especially in the early days of Nintendo Power, budgets for covers were not very high. The cover for issue 3 was a modified pair of Converse. The cover for issue 4 was 2 mannequins and a bunch of Halloween store props. Well, the same was true for issue 2. The model used for Simon Belmont in that image is just a guy in a Halloween store, probably rental costume, and holding the head of Dracula, the 2525 Drac mask from Be Something Studios. This actually took me a little while to identify. I don't know why I always assumed that it was a bespoke piece, but it wasn't until I reached out to the sculptor of some of the other cover models that I do have that we kind of sussed out together that it was likely a Halloween store mask. It really wasn't until that time that I sort of put those goggles on when searching, but I'm glad I did, 'cause I found him. So a couple things to note. If you look at that cover, obviously they added red eyes in post. They also seem to have added eyebrows for some reason, and they elongated his fangs. Those are things that I'm not going to do when displaying this piece, only because this is a sought-after mask in the mask collecting community, and I'm not about to irreversibly modify a mask that is, frankly, pretty expensive. This mask is a pretty early representation of Be Something Studios, so it's sought after for that reason, but also because it does have a cameo appearance in Halloween 4. Early on in that movie, there's a costume shop scene in which the camera pans right by this mask, so that really makes it sort of double desirable for the horror mask collectors. As I mentioned before, if you want one of these masks, they are pretty expensive. I probably overpaid about $1,000, but frankly, I really wanted to make this video when I discovered which mask it was. And so I probably overpaid a little bit in order to shake one loose. As I said, these are pretty desirable among mask collectors. Typically, if you're willing to spend the time to hunt one down, it's probably more in the $500 to $600 range. Still relatively expensive, but not $1,000. However, if you would like a Dracula head and you don't want to spend $500 to $1,000, I do have another option for you. There are 2 of them. So this is a modern pull of the original 1977 Drac mask. So this is made by Trick or Treat Studios, and it is pulled from the same mold, so the face itself is going to be the same. However, the rubber that they used on the modern version is definitely of lower quality than the original version. The hair is a little bit different. It seems to just be a different type of synthetic hair, so you don't get quite the same texture. And then, as you might be able to tell, the paint application is a little bit different. The reds and pinks that they use are different. There's pink around the eyes on the modern version that you don't see on the classic version. You could modify this mask to be pretty similar to the vintage mask. I think the hair is probably where you would get in the most trouble as far as trying to match it one for one. However, this mask is readily available and $60. By the way, I will leave a link in the description in case you want to buy one. So if you're just a big fan of Castlevania 2 and you'd like a Dracula head to stick on your mantelpiece, this may be the one for you. I will say, if you want to do the longer fangs and the eyebrows, this is probably the mask that you want to mess with, just so that you're not taking a valuable, sought-after mask out of circulation. So yeah, despite the fact that this is not the one-for-one actual mask from the cover, this is definitely the closest anyone is likely going to get. I often say that I find things that shouldn't exist. This time I would be really surprised if someone bothered to save the original Halloween store-bought mask from that cover. So considering that it's probably in a landfill somewhere, I'm really happy to have this mask. And now that you know what it is and how much they relatively cost, you can spend $60 to $500 and have one too. Most importantly, now when someone says I don't have the Dracula head yet and laughs at me, I get to laugh back. That's gonna be it for this episode of Art of Nintendo Power. As always, if you love what I do, please like and subscribe, or like and subscribe if you hate what I do. It doesn't make much of a difference to me. And if you have any questions about these masks, or really anything Nintendo Power related, you're absolutely welcome to make a comment down below, or find me on Twitter at ArtofNP, or really if you just Google Art of Nintendo Power, you'll find me that way too. Until next time, keep playing with power, and I'll see you around. Thanks.